Hi, so welcome to another reading vlog. This week and next week actually I am participating in two readathons, the Animal Crossing readathon and the audiobookathon. So I should be focusing on reading the books that I plan to read for those readathons. I should be, but I'm not. What I am doing is reading Edgedancer by Sanderson. So this I was hoping to read last week. I didn't get to it, so I'm trying to finish it now. It's a short story novella that goes between the second and the third books of the Stormlight archives, all about this girl named Lift who is an Edgedancer, which basically means she has the ability to like reduce friction and also grow and heal things. She's a really fun character, so I am enjoying it. Although I find it really interesting, so I started tabbing it out because I wanted to try that, and what I found is in the beginning there were just so many things that I wanted to tab and I couldn't figure out I tried to categorize the colors and I couldn't decide when I was tabbing things what color they should be. However, as I've gotten through, it almost feels like it's getting slower. I feel like Sanderson is really good at like setting up a new character and doing that without it feeling slow, like combining action and character introduction at the same time. But then once all the introduction's done, I don't know, it feels a bit slower, but it could just be me. Anyway, I've got a million gazillion colourful flags in there, so I guess once I finish reading it I'll see whether they're at all useful. I don't really know. The other thing that I've been reading is the audiobook of Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. So this is the sequel to the Diviners. I did say I would continue the Diviners series in audiobook form, even though I didn't like the Diviners that much. And I think that was a good call. I'm actually enjoying this more in audiobook form, just because it's quite slow paced. There's a lot of character development, but not really much actually happening, and that's less annoying when you can just kind of have it on in the background while you're doing other things. I still wouldn't necessarily say that I'm liking it, but this one is all kind of about people getting stuck in these dreams. So there's this sleeping sickness, and then we also have some characters at the same time who are able to walk in dreams. So I do like dream magic, although I wish it was a little bit like weirder than these dreams are not weird enough for me. I like really weird stuff. Anyway, those are the books I'm going to be trying to read. I do also have these other books that I want to be reading this week, which is probably quite optimistic given that I'm also going to a conference on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, which is a conference on the beach, so it shouldn't be that bad, but it does mean probably won't get as much read as I'm hoping. Tonight I am going to the university for the introduction to this women's mentoring program that I'm involved with at the university. Otherwise we'll just see what happens this week. So I'm home from the mentoring event. It actually ended up going quite late, and I feel like like this guy, like I got big black bags under my eyes. Anyway, I did manage to listen to quite a lot of the Diviners while I was driving over to town and then walking into the university and then walking back and driving back. Takes a lot longer to go to these events than you ever expect. Anyway, I do actually think I'm liking, did I say the Diviners before? I meant Lair of Dreams. I'm enjoying Lair of Dreams a lot more than I enjoyed the Diviners. And I think there's a lot of reasons for it. Evie is much less annoying, and I'm really enjoying her banter with Sam when she is on the page. And there's some new characters that have been introduced who I think are really interesting. And I mean, I still think it's quite slow, but I'm enjoying it a bit more. I think I should have listened to the Diviners on audiobook in the beginning, but I tried and then I was put off it, so who knows. Anyway, I'm enjoying it a lot more. And the other thing that's really interesting about it is that there's this whole theme around the way people are treating Chinese immigrants, especially in regards to thinking that they are the source of certain diseases. That compares quite strongly to what's happening today in the 2020s because Lair of Dreams is set in the 1920s. I don't know, it's kind of like, do people ever change? Do we just keep having the same problems over and over again? Perhaps one day we'll learn not to be so racist. Maybe. Maybe not. Probably not. Disappointing. Anyway, I'm gonna go and have a bath and try and read some more of Edgedancer, so I'll probably see you tomorrow. Good morning. So last night I did manage to finish off Edgedancer. Finally, I feel like I really struggled to get through it, which is a bit sad because I love Brandon Sanderson and the Stormlight archives, and I honestly am not entirely sure that it's the book's fault. I think a lot of it is just my brain at the moment is struggling to concentrate because I'm still waiting to hear back from slow recruitment processes. But anyway, this is a really good book. I love the way that Brandon Sanderson is trying to look at how particular individuals could be these knights radiant, but be very different people from the kind of people that you would normally think of when you think of knights radiant. So Lift is this like young, really carefree girl. I think the main problem I have with this though is that a lot of the time Lift really has no idea what she's doing, or even if she has a plan, she doesn't really tell you what it is. A lot of her actions just seem really random, which meant it kind of felt a bit directionless at times, and like it was just a story of her doing random things. But then I did run it through my rating spreadsheet and it's still just scraped in as 4 stars, so 4 stars for that. I still haven't gone through my little post-it notes to decide whether that was helpful, but we'll see. I'm going to try and maybe do like a full review on this, even though it's only a novella. We'll see. The other thing that I did last night is I fell asleep listening to the end of Lair of Dreams. I kind of thought it was funny because the end of it was clearly just setting up for the next book. Also, I cut my fringe and I hate it, so that's good. It'll grow. But yeah, Lair of Dreams, I mean, I think it also just scraped in as a 3 stars, which is better than I thought it would manage. I thought it would be a 2 stars. So the series is getting better. We'll try the next book in audiobook form as well and see if I like that better. Also yesterday, you would have seen my sister and I stopped by a thrift shop, and I did end up picking up a few books. This one especially is good because it is in my 20 books I wanted to read in 2020. I also got a couple of others that kind of look interesting. They were only 50 cents each, so I had to get them. I also ended up buying this guy who I 100% don't need, but like, he's so cute. I couldn't leave him in the shop where there was a drip and he was getting all wet. Yeah, it was not very nice. So I'm gonna keep him for a little while and then I'll probably help him to find a new home. So today I'm mainly getting ready for the conference I'm going to in the next couple of days and trying to get my video up before we head off to that. Also this afternoon I now have a random hospital appointment because I was in the hospital for a couple of days at the beginning of February for this skin infection, and then they ring me up with like no notice and say we want to have a follow-up appointment tomorrow, which is today, and I kind of feel like it's going to be a waste of time, but also like I guess it's sensible to see that they're happy that it's all cleared up. And I mean, I should appreciate the fact that they're following up with me and it is completely free, like free, not just covered by insurance free. Honestly, I don't know how those of you with health systems that don't do free care manage. I mean, there's some things in New Zealand you have to pay for, but there's a lot of free, and it makes a lot of sense, especially when you have deadly viruses spreading across the world. Anyway, I'm not excited about having to go to the hospital. They hang me up, they're like, oh, the appointment's in building 5. Have you been to building 5? No. Oh, well, it's in building 5. Okay, good luck finding that. But never mind, it's probably not that interesting. But I'm going to the hospital this afternoon for an appointment. I'll probably be packing, editing, and I need to try and do some reading. So I'm going to try and quickly read Karen's Little Sister because that should be quick. And then as well as that, I'll start Chosen by Kierstin White, so I got those to read. I did also start listening to The Princess Diarist, mainly because it was one of the shorter books on my audiobookathon TBR. And so far it hasn't really been what I expected. It's a lot less of her actual diaries than I thought it was going to be. But it's interesting hearing her tell her story. So I'm enjoying it. She's a funny lady. Anyway, I'll go and do some things and then I'll see you guys later. So, fun story. I just got back from the hospital and it turns out that the reason why they booked that appointment at the last minute is because they got the results back from the blood test that I did while I was in the hospital at the beginning of February. And I try and work out how to say this in a way that's like not panic inducing, which I think is what my doctor was trying to do too. But basically, one of the blood tests that they did was whether I had lupus, and like it didn't come back positive, but it didn't come back negative either, but it is on like the low side of the range in between positive and negative. So I probably don't have lupus, but they're not sure completely. And like also, because I have Crohn's, apparently the infusion that I get for that can sometimes cause people to register higher on this particular test. So like, again, probably not lupus, but it's kind of a bit weird to be told, well, we're not sure about that by doctors. And I don't really have any of the other symptoms of lupus beyond things that are already symptoms for Crohn's and or just like symptoms of getting old. So I mean, I'm not really worried about it, but one thing I did find funny is that he told me that and then he said, why don't we take your blood pressure? Because like telling someone that they might have a new autoimmune disease and then taking their blood pressure, yeah, that's a great way to do things. Anyway, I'm not really that stressed, but I just thought I'd share my hospital experience with you. Oh, also, while I was driving there, I did listen to some more of The Princess Diarist. I think I've got about an hour left, so I'll probably finish it on my walk tonight. I got to the bit where it's actually her diary excerpts, because I thought most of this was going to be her diary excerpts from when she was filming Star Wars, but actually most of it is just her telling her recollection of her experience of her affair with Harrison Ford. It's quite interesting, it's fine. She does have a particular writing style which I mostly enjoyed, but sometimes I do find it's a little bit pretentious. And actually it was interesting to compare her current writing style, well, not current unfortunately, but her like more modern day writing style with her journal writing style is quite similar sometimes, especially in the pretentiousness. But I did find a lot of her journal writing was in poetry, and some of it was absolutely beautiful and like really to the point. I really liked some of it, and I'm kind of sad that I'm listening to it on audiobook and I can't highlight those lines because there were some really great parts in her poetry, and I really wish she'd just written like a poetry book, and I'm sad maybe that she didn't. But also a lot of it was just very like young, and it just kind of reminds you how young she was when she was filming Star Wars, because that's the kind of stuff that you write about when you're young and emotional. I mean, maybe sometimes when you're older too, but definitely when you're younger. Anyway, it's been a really good quick read for today, so I'm glad that I picked that up. I was also planning to read Chosen when I was in the waiting room, but I didn't. I just played my stupid cat game on my phone instead. Whatever. Good morning. So I got home from the conference last night and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of stuff. I saw a lot of cool people that I know and got to talk to them all about work stuff, which is great. Since I'm going back to work, it's good to like get motivated for the kinds of thing I do at work and feel like I'm actually going to be doing something useful. So it was a great conference, great location, absolutely beautiful beach. Although it was very busy, I do prefer my beaches with a lot less people on them, to be honest. But anyway, since it's Monday, I better wrap up this vlog. I thought we would just check in where I'm at with the 2 readathons that I'm supposed to be doing, which is not very good. So as far as the Animal Crossing readathon goes, I did start Chosen. I've read like 30 pages. That's not very far, and to be honest, I'm really struggling to remember who all the characters are. I wish there was like a Watcher Academy family tree and like member list somewhere in the book. That would help a lot, but I mean, I'm not very far, so we'll see how it goes. As well as that, what else on this list have I read? Nothing. Oh, I have also started listening to the audiobook of A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. It's very tiny on the screen that I'm looking at. So I started listening to that. So far it's okay. I mean, it's a middle grade fantasy. This girl's discovered that her family has this curse and they can't leave the island, which really ruins all her plans of escaping the island and going and having lots of adventures. So she's trying to figure out what's happening with her life now. Anyway, it's fine so far. It's a middle grade. It's not too amazing. So I've started on 2 of the 6 books, but I haven't finished any. How's that for progress? But I'm doing just as terribly at the audiobookathon. So I have read The Princess Diarist. I think I talked about it a bit before. It wasn't really what I was expecting, but it was quite interesting and funny at times as well. I haven't read any of the others or even started any of the others. So I'm going to be listening to a lot of audiobooks next week. The other thing that I think I haven't talked to you guys about, because I did tell you about how I read Edgedancer and I liked it a lot, but I did feel like it was a bit slow in some parts, and also Lair of Dreams, which I listened to instead of listening to any of these audiobookathon audiobooks, which was better than I expected, but still just kind of meh. The other thing I read was Babysitter's Little Sister's Karen's Witch. So I read this. It was super cute as expected. I think it did a really good job of like explaining Karen's obsession with their neighbor and thinking she's a witch called Morbid Destiny. I don't really remember reading the original book of this. Like, I know I've read it, but it was a long time ago, so I don't remember what that was like. But this was adorable and cute, and I really enjoyed it. So I guess that's how my week went. Basically, the first half of the week, I read some things that were okay. They weren't the things I was supposed to be reading, and then I went to a conference and I had a great time on the beach and got really tired. Next week, we'll make some real good progress on these readathons, hopefully. Anyway, I guess that's all for now. So thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. I hope that you're having a really wonderful day, and I will see you next time.